We are here with Kristin Pedemonti. How exciting is that already? And we're going to have a virtual workshop on July 12th, 2025. And that means we get to learn about this amazing workshop entitled Steer Your Story, How Narrative Therapy Practices Assist Us to Preferred Stories. Now, for some of you, you might be wondering, what's narrative therapy? For some of you, you might be wondering, what's preferred stories? So, for a very, very quick, what it is narrative therapy practices, what is preferred stories in the very condensed version, because we'll get the longer version at the workshop.
I'm so glad you asked. Narrative therapy practices are, if we think about them as compassionate, curious conversations. And the idea is to unpack these outside influences that impact how we see ourselves, how we see others, and how we see the world around us. And one important thing you do need to know in narrative practices, the problem is the problem, the person is not the problem. And that's a really big through line through all of narrative practices. And this worldview of context is everything. And it opens up how we see the world around us, which I think is exciting.
But the preferred stories, people don't always hear that phrase. What does that mean a little bit? A teaser version.
Sure. So often we might get caught up in what's called a problem saturated story, where the problem takes center stage. And what can happen is other aspects of the story fall to the side and we don't see them, and we can get caught up in sort of a single story. The preferred narrative or the preferred story would be kind of like, what are we hoping for? Maybe how are we hoping people might see us? How are we hoping that a problem that we're working through might have we could have a different perception, we could have different possibilities that open up to us. So it's the preferred story of how we would like to live our lives and how we might also wish to be seen.
And it feels like that anyone could obviously benefit from this. Usually, with our virtual workshop series, there tends to be story artists of some kind connected to it. But it feels like these practices can help on a mindset level. It can help just in your development of stories. Like, just what are your thoughts about uh, with a lot of story artists that would be attending, or you might say anyone in regards to the benefits?
Yeah, I love that question. And I think what narrative practices can offer to us is widening our view, widening our perceptions, and then also allowing for maybe even deeper connection with each other, whether that's with our partner, or it might be with children or friends, community, with audiences. It really expands our field of vision. And I think that's a benefit for every single person on the planet. It really helps us appreciate complexity and not not maybe thinking in either or, but both and. And then that can just expand connection. And that's one thing I really love about it.
And there are three practices that you are going to focus your attention on. So it's externalizing, it's reauthoring, and saying hello again, which that phrase in of itself, you'll explain later. So don't worry, we're not going to go into it now. But uh, with all of this, you've been doing this a long time. You probably have your favorite moments. What is one of those top moments that come to mind of why you love being a storyteller and having this narrative therapy?
Oh my gosh, that's a huge question, actually.
It is.
I think, yeah, it is, and I think if I pull those moments together and kind of encapsulate them, it's that narrative practices bring possibility where sometimes a person or a group might feel like there isn't any possibility. So it opens up, oh my gosh, wait, there is a way to move through this. There is a way to navigate through this. And one thing about it too is that once you start seeing the world this way, it's kind of hard to unsee it. So that idea of we're also multi-storied, it has deeply enhanced interactions, whatever those might be, whether it's with a stranger or with one's parent. And in the storytelling world, it has me thinking again about how we're connecting to our audiences and the stories we're telling when we're looking at them through narrative practices as well. We're seeing even more complexity than maybe we saw before. So it just, if you remember anything, it opens up more possibility.
Definitely. So come forth, have those possibilities opened up for you. And come join us on Saturday, July 12th, 2025. And if you look at the link below, storycrossroads.org/all things story, you can register there as well as get a time zone converter because it doesn't matter where you are. If you can't make it at that time exactly, you could opt and register there for the recordings, but it's going to be better virtual live. We'll see you there until we tell again.